Let's deep dive into this wonderful journey with the freshwater aquatic plants. Woo!
Water is critical to the survival of all living organisms. Without it, life simply wouldn't exist as we know it. Many organisms can survive on salt water, but the vast majority of vascular plants, as well as insects, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds, rely on fresh water to live. Fresh water is an essential resource, one that immediately vital to human survival. Freshwater isn't just about what we drink. Freshwater ecosystems are home to a diverse range of freshwater aquatic plants that support entire food chains, maintain water quality, and offer shelter for countless species. Like all water resources, they're fragile, easily impacted by pollutions, invasive species, and climate change. Welcome to our journey into the incredible world of freshwater aquatic plants. I am Talal Diabar. Join us as we explore and take you to these incredible organisms that plays a vital role in our ecosystem, providing food, habitat, and beauty.
Did you know that fresh water only makes up 3% of the world water resources? Only 1% of it was readily available, and 70% of it was frozen in Antarctica. That's a little information for you or for us to know. Because for today, freshwater isn't the main character, but it's plants. Freshwater aquatic plants. Now let's dive into these wonders. But before that, here's Mika, who will take us on a journey through the fascinating history of freshwater aquatic plants.
Freshwater aquatic plants have evolved over millions of years,
adapting to a variety of ecological niches. The earliest evidence of aquatic plants date back to the Paleozoic era. Approximately 400 million years ago, during this time, primitive plants such as charophytes or green algae began colonizing the freshwater habitats. These early plants played a critical role in the development of terrestrial ecosystem,
contributing to the formation of soils and providing habitats for emerging animal species. As time progressed, complex forms of aquatic plants emerged. By the Mesozoic era, flowering plants known as angiosperm began to appear, leading to a diversification that included many of the familiar species we recognize today, such as water lilies, or also known as nymphaea, and duckweed or limna. This diversification was influenced by various environmental factors, including changes in climate and water availability, which shaped the distribution and characteristics of aquatic plant species.
Wow, what an incredible journey these plants have had through time. It's fascinating to think that the freshwater plants we see today trace their roots back to the Paleozoic era. Welcome back to our exploration of the enchanting world of freshwater aquatic plants. We will dive deeper into their unique features. Alam ba ninyo na ang freshwater aquatic plants are plants that grow in freshwater environments such as lakes, rivers, ponds, and wetlands. Kung hindi pa, tara and let's learn about this.
Plants acquire their energy from the sun through a process known as photosynthesis. Clear, shallow lakes, 5 to 10 feet deep, provide the most sunlight and may support high abundance of plants. In deeper lakes, where you cannot see the bottom, it is harder for rooted plants to receive sunlight. Therefore, fewer plants grow in these areas. They have adapted to live in environments with varying amounts of light, oxygen, and nutrients. These plants can be grouped into three main types based on their growth patterns: submerged plants, floating plants, and emergent plants.
Now, let's start our journey with the submerged plants. These plants grow entirely underwater and are rooted in the sediment at the bottom of water bodies. They're often found in lakes, ponds, and slow-moving rivers. For example, Elodea, also known as waterweed, is often used in aquariums and is common in ponds and bodies known as eel grass or tape grass. It has long ribbon-like leaves and forms dense underwater meadows.
Aquatic plants that live fully submerged in the water generally share several adaptations within their leaves. The leaves are generally thin and soft, lack stomata, and have either a thin or missing epidermis to facilitate gas exchange underwater. Up next, let's talk about floating plants. As the name suggests, these plants float on the surface, soaking up sunlight and providing shade to the life below. Some well-known examples are duckweed and water hyacinth. Duckweed, or also known as lemna, is a tiny, fast-spreading plant that forms dense mats on the water's surface, providing cover for aquatic life. And water hyacinth, each Hornea crassips with beautiful purple flowers. Water hyacinths are highly invasive in some regions but can be beneficial in water filtration when managed. And last but not the least, emergent plants. These plants have roots anchored in the water but grow tall above the surface, like reeds and cattails. Emergent plants are common along the edge of lakes, rivers, and wetlands. They serve as excellent nesting spots for birds. Cattail, or also known as tipa, known for its tall, reedy stalks and distinctive brown flower spikes. Cattails are often found along wetland edges. Reeds, pragmites, tall, slender plants that form dense stands, which provide critical nesting habitats for birds.
Thank you. I am Galani Marisa. Dima, can you please tell us what is the importance of freshwater aquatic plants?
Of course, Marisa. After learning about the types of freshwater aquatic plants, I have wondered, what is their importance in our ecosystems? And why they are still there? Now, let's find out.
Upon researching, freshwater aquatic plants aren't exposed to salt. These plants are adapted to low salt environments. Freshwater plants play a big role in their ecosystems. For instance, submerged plants play several essential roles, such as oxygen production, water filtration, habitat. And for oxygen production, it is through photosynthesis. They release oxygen directly into the water, which is vital for the survival of fish and other aquatic organisms. And for water filtration, this plant absorbs nutrients and pollutants, helping to maintain clear water and reduce algal blooms. And for habitat, they provide hiding places and breeding ground for fish, invertebrates, and microorganisms. Meanwhile, the floating plants are good at shade and temperature regulation. By covering plants of the water surface, floating plants help keep the water cooler, which can prevent excessive algae growth. And of course, the nutrient control. These floating plants absorbs the nutrients directly from the water, preventing the growth of harmful algae. They also helps in shelter, which is the floating plants provide shade and protection for fish and other organisms that is beneath them. Further, the emergent plants, which is very important in preventing soil erosion along the banks of rivers and lakes by holding soil with their roots. Moreover, their stems and leaves provide shelter and breeding grounds for a variety of animals, including birds, amphibians, and insects.
I am Malagya Mamaila. Freshwater aquatic plants have survived for millions of years due to their adaptability and ability to fill essential roles in their environment. They continue to thrive because they have evolved to meet the specific needs of freshwater ecosystems. By providing oxygen, filtering pollutants, offering habitats, and supporting biodiversity, they create stable and sustainable ecosystems. Humans also benefit from freshwater plants. They improve water quality, support fisheries, prevent shoreline erosion, and provide resources for traditional medicine and materials in certain cultures. In addition, wetlands with aquatic plants act as a natural water purification system, which help communities by providing clean drinking water and mitigating flood risk. Freshwater aquatic plants are not only crucial to aquatic ecosystems, but also in human health and the environment as a whole. Their role in oxygen production, water filtration, and habitat creation make them indispensable for sustaining life and balancing ecosystems. This is why protecting freshwater habitats and reducing pollution are essential steps in ensuring these plants continue to thrive.
Together, let's cherish and protect these vital components of our natural world. This is Year 5. Thank you.